So Xbox user interface is getting another update. This is a small, but I think really finally needed and wanted update from a lot of people. A lot of people seem pretty excited about this, and it just has to do with being able to personalize your home screen, specifically being able to pin your favorite stuff on the home screen itself. Here is the update that Xbox Wire did put out. Xbox insiders are currently going to be able to experience it first with new ways to personalize the home screen. They say starting this week, Xbox insiders will notice a fresh set of customization options rolling out to the recently played games and apps list on home. And the update is part of the ongoing effort to make home more personal, flexible, and responsive to your feedback. And here is exactly what is new. You can now hide system apps. I mean, you take a quick look here at this picture, you can see they've basically just pinned games to the front of it. So they're only seeing games. The system apps are being hidden from there. And you can also pin your favorites to your home. So you could pin up to 3 of your recently played games or apps directly to the recently played games and apps list. You can also reduce the tile count. This is coming soon. They say prefer a more minimal look. This setting allows you to reduce the number of visible tiles in the recently played games and apps list, helping you streamline your home and surface only the essentials. And they say we're still refining this setting and will be coming soon. And why this matters, because you think about this, you look at this, you think it's not a big deal. I mean, something that should have probably been there from the very beginning, which it absolutely should have. They did have pinning options previously, but it just wasn't in the same form as this. But they say here that they've heard from many people that the home should feel more like your space. And that is basically why they are doing this. And it's a nice update. It makes it look significantly cleaner when you could just have the stuff that you want there. You only have games as you scroll across, the background changes to the game that you're playing. It does give it a nice clean look. One of the things people continuously mention whenever there are updates to the user interface, and I would probably agree with this overall, is that if you're subscribed to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, there shouldn't be any ads on the home screen itself, and it should be as clean, as minimalistic as you want it to be, where you're seeing your games and you're seeing the art for those games as you go through each and every tile and each and every app. And I think that would be great at some point if they were able to do that. The reality is they make money by putting ads on these screens. So they're making additional money off of Game Pass Ultimate users just by having them look at the ads on the home screen. It doesn't bother me to this sense that when I turn on my Xbox, I'm there thinking about it. But I've seen so many comments about that. And you step back and you think about it a bit more. It's like, yeah, if you're paying $20 a month or something, like with other subscription services, there shouldn't be ads anywhere. But the Xbox user interface, I like it. I think it's good. They're continuously refining it and making it better. The big thing for me is I think they're going and moving this to the direction where your Xbox experience, no matter what screen you're on, is going to basically be the same, whether you're on the console, whether you're on the Xbox PC app, or whether you're on a handheld or any other screens out there. They should have it to the point where it is basically the same, with maybe like what they have with the PC app, a compact mode for the smaller screens out there. But a nice upgrade. People seem very excited about this, and we will see more features and more things coming out obviously in the future for the Xbox user interface. The future of the Xbox hardware and the consoles is still up in the air in terms of exactly what is going to be included with this. We've seen rumors consistently that Steam is going to be involved, that there's going to be PC launchers on the next Xbox, because it's essentially just going to be a PC that is built for your at-home theater. To sit in front of the big screen TV on your couch and everything, which is the point of consoles essentially. And you're now potentially going to be able to launch Steam games, Epic Games, GOG, everything that you own on your PC and on the Xbox ecosystem on the next Xbox console. If they do end up doing this, I think that's a massive win here for gamers, a massive win for consoles, and for obviously people within the Xbox ecosystem. Well, we have more here about Steam and Microsoft, and potentially here that they are testing Steam integration within the Microsoft Store, potentially for the next Xbox 2. We have this report here from WCCF Tech. And they say, according to the Insider Ecstasies, Microsoft has internally begun testing Steam integration within the Microsoft Store environment, specifically saying Xbox plus Steam are heading into the next generation, but steps are already being taken as Microsoft has just added the Steam application to support software for its devices, appearing under the name of Steam Developer Beta. They say this, of course, is currently only available to certain employees and people who collaborate with Microsoft to provide support or develop certain things. And they say this is more than just a detail because it logically reflects Microsoft's intention to facilitate coexistence and cooperation between its Xbox ecosystem and the gigantic PC platform that is Steam today. This integration will allow users to run Steam more smoothly and directly from Windows environments and, in the future, Xbox environments. It says here, I've been telling you that the next generation of Xbox is going to be more like a PC than a console. Everything is going to be developed around PC environments. Those logically need Steam integration, and you'll have that in your Microsoft Store when you turn on your next generation Xbox console. This will allow you to have Steam on your Xbox console and on any Windows device without the need for complex configurations, which is a key step for the experience of the future consoles. So, of course, this is just a rumor, hearsay, word of mouth, whatever you want to call it. Nothing here has been confirmed, but we have heard multiple different discussions about this being the future of Xbox, having that full PC integration with the different launchers on there. And again, that would be a massive win here. Of course, there is a good point that is made here that they need to make sure that if you are accessing Steam, you're accessing Epic or GOG or whatever on the next at-home Xbox hardware, you're not going to want to have to tinker with stuff or with like you do on PC. I think the point of consoles is one of the major points, at least, is convenience. So if you're launching a game from Steam, it should automatically configure for the console. You can jump in and play as seamless as you would with popping in a current console game on your Xbox or PlayStation or your Nintendo. And I think that's going to be a huge thing that they would have to discover and think about how that is going to work on the console itself, because there will be people out there who just don't want to have that full PC experience. They want to be able to play some games that they potentially own on Steam or any of the other launchers, but they don't want to have to go in there and try to optimize settings and everything to get it to run properly on the console itself, because there will be different power than high-end PCs or even mid-range or lower-end PCs. There will be a difference there when it comes to whatever the next at-home Xbox console is. So lots of stuff to think about, but I do believe if they do go in this direction, this is the right choice, the smart choice, and it would be a massive win again for console owners, just basically reducing barriers, reducing walls to access games. We're going to be getting a box that has pretty much everything. It even will have PlayStation games if it has Steam, because PlayStation games are on Steam. The only thing that would be missing, of course, would be the Nintendo Switch exclusives. That would be the only thing that you wouldn't be getting on this next box if it has all of these launchers. So I hope this is the case. I would love it because I have a huge Steam library, I have a huge Xbox library. If I get all of those into a singular place and I can play all of that sitting back on my couch, just on a nice form factored console that you plug into the TV. It's not like this huge thing that if I were to plug in my PC to my TV, where right now I guess technically you do get Xbox and you do get Steam, but you don't get the Xbox console stuff. That's to me something that is very enticing. And I wonder if we will see and hear anything more about this at the upcoming Xbox showcase, if they will at all talk about the future of the Xbox hardware, because we have also seen hints that we will be hearing about something sooner rather than later. My hunch is the hardware we will be hearing about is going to be the Asus Xbox handheld and potentially other third-party manufacturers jumping into the handheld space, making one specifically for the Xbox ecosystem. So we have some big news here coming out of Obsidian. As we know, Obsidian's most recent release has been Avowed. It was a game that was highly anticipated, and I think overall it was received very well. sitting at a 80 something, I believe, on Metacritic right now, or at least when it did come out with the initial reviews. Avowed has come and it has gone. People have played it. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But Carrie Patel was the director behind Avowed, and she has now left Obsidian, going over to Netflix Games. She announced this herself, saying that she was joining Night School as a game director. She was previously at Obsidian for nearly 12 years, where she was a game director and the narrative co-lead and senior narrative designer, but now going to Night School, who's known for Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2, which I don't really know anything about those games. Currently, it's unknown the specific game that she is working on. But that is a big departure there. Somebody who did direct the most recent release here in Avowed, and as I said, was relatively received well. I don't think this really means anything in terms of how successful this game was. I think this is just somebody who's been at Obsidian for 12 years and wanting to go out and try something new at a new studio. Netflix Games came calling. She obviously accepted the offer that they did provide her. So it will be interesting to see what she is working on. But going forward here for Obsidian, how will they have, because they have different teams they're working on multiple different games. I wonder who will be coming up here as the next game director to take over for her to work on whatever project they have in the works. Obsidian has been doing so many games. They release tons of stuff and all of them end up being pretty good. The next big one here is the Outer Worlds 2, which I'm very excited for because I loved the first one, and from what they have shown off so far for Outer Worlds 2 looks phenomenal. The update in the combat, the stealth, and the overall look of the game graphically and stuff. So it looks very, very good. And we're going to see a lot more on June 8th as it is the after show to the Xbox showcase. In terms of Avowed, I was very excited for this game before it did drop. It was one of my more anticipated games coming out from Xbox Game Studios. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't hit where I wanted it to hit. It was not my favorite game that I've played recently. I think overall, when it comes to it, I was expecting more of a deeper RPG experience and just in terms of choice and consequence and stuff, and it did not hit that for me. It was kind of more of an action game. So my expectations were different going into it than probably where they should have been, but I don't think Avowed did bad. So we'll see if there's any more news that does come out in the future as to why she left. But as of right now, it's just going over to Netflix Games to build something new. Xbox put out the Xbox May update for retro classic games coming to Xbox Game Pass, PC gaming, and more. So lots of cool things here. And instantly, like I said, it reminds me of the Xbox Live Arcade, as there is going to be the ability with challenges, achievements, collectibles, all of that. I'm sure you're going to be able to compete against people online and everything too. So very cool stuff. We will go through the Xbox Wire. As I said, I haven't really read through it all yet. Kind of a live reaction to it because I got really excited. So I had to turn on the camera and jump in here and see what this was all about with you guys. And it says here that a variety of new updates are available this month across gaming platforms, and coming today, which I think is the coolest thing, retro classic games are available to play for Xbox Game Pass members. Players who stream on the Xbox app on PC now have an additional streaming option with GeForce Now, and Game Bar introduces quick settings, visual updates for widgets in compact mode, and coming soon, Microsoft Edge Game Assist, an in-game browser that brings an immersive game-centric experience to Edge, and Xbox gift cards can now be redeemed for any amount via Xbox Rewards. So this right off of the bat is one of the biggest updates I think we have gotten potentially this generation in a single month. This is their update for May. It's not just this retro classics things. It includes an entire bevy of different things that are going to improve the overall Xbox experience. This update is just insanely massive, but the biggest one here for me is this retro classics thing available for Game Pass members. And here is exactly what it is. You can already see from the pictures, like they have a whole new layout for it. You can see some of the games that are going to be included on this. I mean, they have boxing, Cosmic Park Commando, Robin Hood, like just all of these retro games, baseball, these kind of a huge throwbacks. Pitfall, really, really cool game. But it says here, we're thrilled to announce the launch of Retro Classics collaboration between Xbox and Stream Arcade available to play for Game Pass members globally. And starting today, Game Pass members can dive into a collection of 50 plus classic Activision games from the 80s and the 90s, including Commando, Grand Prix, Kaboom, Mech Warrior 2, 31st Century Combat, and Pitfall. And the initiative is a step in the commitment to game preservation and backwards compatibility, allowing players to experience many timeless games on modern devices. And for me, game preservation is a major issue in gaming today, as everything has moved completely to digital. Even if you buy physical games, you're just getting, for a lot of them, nothing on the disc itself. And it's even now transferring over to the Nintendo Switch too. One of the things with the Nintendo Switch that I loved was that most games came completely on the cart. It's not going to be like that for the Switch too. So there's going to have to be other ways that companies preserve games. Stuff like this is going to be a way where you're getting an access to a catalog of games that you can play digitally, you can play through the cloud, you can play online, all of that. And this looks like that is a major step in that direction. They also say here, with Retro Classics, Game Pass members can expect a seamless gaming experience across console, PC, and on support devices with cloud gaming. Whether you're playing on your console, the app, on PC, or streaming for like LG and the Samsung Smart TV. So that's cool. It's going to work right through there, through the Meta Quest headsets. All of these will be accessible. And they say that Game Pass members can access Retro Classics through their Game Pass membership by searching and installing the feature via their console on the Xbox app and PC. And players can take on friends, rivals, or the entire world with unique challenges. And that is the good part about doing, I think, this game preservation this way, is you get that added online functionality where you get to actually compete in these games against other people in 2025, which obviously you didn't have that type of stuff really back in the day. Obviously, competing online wasn't a thing, and you're getting achievements as well. As they do say here, for achievement hunters, there are some great new ones to collect. And for newer players, the ability to save and reload your progress first for many of the classic titles. So that is where the cool thing comes in. And the launch is just beginning. They say Game Pass members can look forward to discovering additional games added from Activision and Blizzard, expanding the Retro Classics collection to more than 100 plus titles over time. This is very, very, very cool. I love this. I hope they bring more games, as they are saying. They continue to expand this out. If they can even add more than just Activision games into this service, this will be phenomenal. And because these are smaller games you can jump into, play quickly, this is bringing back Xbox Live Arcade memories to me. This is what the 360 was all about. I loved the XBLA. So did a lot of people when that went away. It was very sad. This is kind of looking like a replacement. You're going to see people going in there, comparing scores, getting achievements, challenging each other. And it's just games you can jump into, play like 20 minutes or so, and actually have a lot of fun and accomplish something, try to get a new high score. Like, this is awesome. I'm very, very excited for this. If you guys can't tell, cool to see. And I can't wait for them to continue to expand it. And it's available right now. What else is crazy? Yeah, this is an announcement that you would think they could have saved this for their June showcase, and they're putting it out now. And we've seen that over the last number of weeks that Xbox is actually putting out these types of announcements before the June showcase comes, which makes me believe that we are going to have just an absolutely insane showcase with games that are going to take over the gaming world in terms of huge announcements. Because to me, this would be a big announcement that you could save for that, and they're putting it out now. So very, very cool to see. Now, there are other updates here, and again, these updates are big. It's bigger than we have seen from an Xbox update in a while. And I think a lot of this also has to do with the future of Xbox handhelds and how they're optimizing the PC app, the quick bar, all of that for ease of use on smaller screens and on Xbox handheld. So for PC gaming, the game bar updates here, there's quick settings and widgets. They say to further enhance the gameplay experience with game bar, we've revamped the settings widget with quick settings and continued visual updates to the remainder of the inbox widgets. The new quick settings will be accessible in both compact mode and desktop mode. And this is the key. Compact mode is going to be the mode I'm almost positive that they are trying to be used for handhelds, for those Xbox handhelds. When the ROG Ally Xbox comes out, it will be just, I would think, the skin of the compact mode for this Xbox PC app. They say upon opening the settings, players can now swiftly access a list of quick settings, adjust audio levels, screen brightness, show a virtual keyboard, and turn on compact mode, manage connected devices, and more. And they say, in addition to this, the visual updates have been applied to the widget list and the gallery widget, the home widget, for a more unified look and feel across the experience, because they are trying to make the experience the same on whatever screen that you are on. They're also adding here the Microsoft Edge Game Assist, which is basically the ability to walk you through games if you do need help. You can use the Windows plus G shortcut to open the experience in game bar at any time during a gameplay session, connects you to the Edge browser, and players can have instant access to their favorite passwords, history, and more, ensuring that everything is there. And it'll help you in games if you do need help. Now, there is also a GeForce Now update, which is cool. Players can now have additional options for Xbox app on PC for playing via cloud gaming, providing more flexibility. GeForce Now has been added as an available option for PC gaming on participating titles. So you can choose if you're going to use Xbox Cloud Gaming or GeForce Now, which requires a separate subscription, I guess, if you want the paid tier for it. And if you own games and Steam and stuff that are in the GeForce Now streaming service, you're going to be able to choose that, use that as a service to play. And I guess also, if you're owning games on the Xbox PC app, you're going to get it right in that PC app where you're choosing cloud gaming or GeForce Now. A lot of people think GeForce Now is better. They give better bit rates and everything, and just better resolutions. But I think cloud gaming is pretty decent. I haven't really used GeForce Now that much, but GeForce Now is a service where you get to now choose between the two, and they're integrating it all into the PC app, which again starts making me think the future of Xbox will be this integration seamlessly with different PC launchers. We've seen all of those rumors about Steam, Epic Games, things like GOG and stuff coming onto the next Xbox. This is another, I would say, indication that they are definitely trying to do that. At the same time, the streaming and the cloud side of things was a major part of the ABK acquisition, where they gave the rights on where games could show up on the cloud to Ubisoft. And this is probably as well a part of that. So cool stuff there, though. Just giving players more choice that will keep people invested in the ecosystem if they know they're not going to be cut off from the other places where they play their PC games. Now, finally, we have the Xbox rewards here. And well, I guess not finally, there's actually a couple of other things here, but basically I actually just used this the other day to get a $10 gift card, but you can choose custom amounts here with your rewards for the gift card, which is great. That means if you only want like $3, you can do that. If you want $7, you can do that. Well, or I guess between 5 and 100. So I guess the $3 example does not work, but it says if selecting custom, enter any amount between $5 and $100. So any amount between there, you're going to be able to put in there, and then it will take, I guess, the amount of rewards for that specific amount of dollars off of your account. So cool there. Now, stream your own game. There's over 100 plus games. They've added a bunch of other games to this, which is great. Always looking to see that get expanded, because I hope that eventually does come to the entire Xbox library. And then Xbox Play Anywhere is also expanding with more games here that are added to that collection. We have another game here coming over to Xbox Game Pass, and this one I'm very excited about, because a lot of people, I think, have experienced the Space Marine series for the first time with the most recent game that just launched last year. But the first one that did come out on the Xbox 360, whereas when I first played it, and I just jumped in, not really knowing too much about the series or too much about the game, and it became one of my favorite games on the Xbox 360. They're bringing it back, and it is coming day one to Xbox Game Pass, and I'm very excited about this. Warhammer 40K Space Marine Master Crafted Edition has been announced for PC, Xbox, and day one on Xbox Game Pass. And with this edition, you're getting it enhanced for the new gen, 4K resolution, so it'll look beautiful, modernized control, interface overhaul, improved character models, and remastered audio. So they're going all out. They're making this the best version, and we're all going to be able to play it on June 10th on Xbox Game Pass. Again, this is super interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, I did not see this coming, so that's awesome that I'm going to be able to replay the first one, a game that I absolutely love. And two, to me, just like yesterday with the Xbox Retro Classics Collection app, which I jumped into and it is very cool. This seems like this would have been a pretty fun announcement to put at the showcase, which is literally just a couple of weeks away. So if they're already putting announcements out like this, I wonder, what do they have in store? What does Xbox have in store for us on June 8th when we get the showcase? Like there's probably gonna be so much stuff that we just don't know about. And that's has me even more pumped and excited for that upcoming showcase.